Okay, today we're going to talk about clothes.
Part 2 of the gear video. I'm going to start out and Karen will come along with me. We wear a lot of the same kind of stuff. What were you going to start out?
No, you have to say. I'm going to talk about this and then Karen's going to talk about that, when in actuality, without even saying that, that's what's going to happen.
Okay, so that's what's going to happen. So I'll start with shirts. I only carry 2 shirts on the trail. Wear one. It's a completely 100% polyester Columbia shirt, and it's stained from last year, kind of. It's not in really great shape, but it doesn't matter because it's going to get dirty anyway. And the people of Grants and Cuba, they're really the only people that we're going to see on this trip. Plus people that pick us up hitchhiking, they don't care how we look.
They just care how you smell.
They just care how we smell, and it doesn't matter what shirt you got. And then I wear this long sleeve shirt at the appropriate times and places. So those are my shirts that I wear. That's it for shirts. And you wear shirts too.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about my stuff after you're through.
Oh, okay. So polyester underwear helps with the chafing, or helps with the not chafing. I have a beanie that's just, for warmth. I sleep in that. My pants are, I don't have long johns unless it's going to be profoundly cold for long periods, which it won't be on this hike. So I just have a pair of zip-off pants. These are my first part of the year hiking pants, the fat pants. I have another pair that I wear when I've lost 20 or 30 pounds on the trail that I'll press into service here later. Much later probably. Okay, so socks. I wear darn tough socks. They're guaranteed, if you wear them out, which you always do, they'll send you a new pair. So I've got 2 pair of socks. We carry 3 pair of socks sometimes, like in Wyoming, when your feet are wet all day, every day, and you have 1 pair in reserve for sleeping. But 2 pair are fine for this particular part of the hike. Probably not going to carry these gloves. These are very lightweight gloves made by Glacier Gloves.
Very warm.
Very warm, very waterproof, and if your hands are wet, it's impossible to put them on, which is really very frustrating. I wear this sun hat, which protects my neck, and it's got a broad brim, so I wear that for extra warmth. I have a jacket, another light jacket that I didn't bring. I may either wear that or a sweater-like garment from Patagonia. I haven't got those with me. This is my puffy that I wear a lot of the time in the mornings. I always wear it at night. Got this for $49 at Costco, and it served me very well. It's covered with duct tape now because I've torn it on ocotillo plants, branches, burned it, but it's still just fine. And then lastly, probably forgetting something, we both wear Frog Togged rain gear, which is I think I mentioned in another video, it's rain gear that's really inexpensive. This is the pants, and they're very lightweight, waterproof material that actually breathes a little bit like Gore-Tex. And the suit's 20 bucks. Quite a deal. They're easily torn, so we go through a pair of these every trip, but they're big enough to fit over a puffy. They're an extra wind layer. This one has pretty good holes in it. I've got a patch. That's pretty much my clothing for this trip. If it's going to get colder, we'll add a few things, but pretty much that's all I carry.
So how much would you say all those clothes weigh?
I think these clothes all weigh about 4 pounds, 4.5 maybe.
But some of it you're going to have on.
But a lot of it, I'll be wearing some. For boots, I wear these La Sportiva Wildcat. They're trail running boots or shoes is what they are. I wear these kind, and almost all thru hikers wear trail shoes like these because they're so lightweight, and I think it's a myth that high top boots provide you with ankle support. They're just make it heavier, the footwear. These aren't waterproof. Waterproof boots have a very bad reputation for causing condensation and then friction, then blisters. So these are quite usable even when wet. When they're frozen, they're a pain, but every boot's a pain when it's frozen. So with that, talk about your clothes.
Why, thank you.
Why, be my guest.
I'm going to start from the closest layer to my skin. What I wear when I'm cold is tights and a top that matches. I don't know if they're polyprop or what they are, but they are from REI, and that's what I wear on the bottom layer. I generally will be keeping these in my sleeping bag so that I know where my sleeping clothes are when I pull out my bag and get in, but I'm just going to stick them in right now. Then what I wear when I'm hiking is a pair of convertible pants. They're pretty cool. They are long pants, long hiking pants, but they have a drawstring in the pockets of the pant that when you pull, it pulls them up into a more of a capri pant, so just with the pull of the string. That way I don't have to take two garments. I've got these are my really my only outer layer my only pant layer that I'll be wearing on the trail. As far as a top, I've got one of these new, I don't know how it'll work, but we'll see. It's a Mountain Hardwear top that's UV protected and odor resistant and easily dryable, so that if I choose to just wash it out by hand in the evening, I can. And it's got a 3/4 length sleeve on it, which is nice because I like having my arms covered when I get chilly, sweaty, but not full on, too much sleeve. So that's the middle layer. Then I have the same outer layer as far as rain gear that Robert just showed you, which is my, what are they called?
Frog togs?
Frog togs. So I'm not going to pull those out since he's already shown you those. I have my puffy, which is really my only warm layer jacket, and it has always been sufficient. Even when it's wet, it's fine. I have a pair of gaiters that I either will or will not use. Sometimes I like gaiters on, sometimes they're just a pain in the ass and I don't necessarily want them. I have a pair of sun gloves, lightweight sun gloves, that are just nice to have on my hands. I have a watch cap for sleeping in, and a buff. A buff is great for, actually I have two buffs. Look, I have one here.
Oh, you have my buff. We have to start over. I didn't have my buff.
Great for having around your neck, having as a handkerchief, having as a pot holder, having as a multitude of things. Just a nice all-round
virus mask
thing to have. And sometimes it's just good when it's cold or when it's windy and you just want your face covered up. I also have the same kind of pair of gloves Robert has. May or may not take them, don't know. It just depends on how.
It kind of depends on how the weather evolves over the next week.
We're watching the weather. And then I have a sun hat as well. So all of mine fits into my nice little hatchet. Also have an extra pair of socks. Darn toes.
Sometimes laundry is a problem. I think the longest either one of us has ever, on a solo hike on the Ouachita Trail, I went 160 miles before I was able to wash my clothes. And they were,
I wasn't with you.
Really, no. It was terrible.
Which brings me to say that when we go to town and we need to launder our clothes, you got to make sure you've got something to put on while you've got all your clothes in the
that's where the frog togs come in.
And the frog togs are really good for that because you can just put them on, and not have anything.
I've eaten dinner in a restaurant with nothing but frog togs on. It was kind of embarrassing, but nobody seemed to notice.
Also, we sometimes, in an in a send ahead box if we're sending ourselves, you know, food or items that we need. We have put in an extra pair of clean clothes that we can wear to town and be pretty presentable, and then put them back to the box and send it ahead to the next place we're going to be going, which is kind of helpful, you know, when you don't want to have on the same clothes all the time, which we're going to for most of the time.
If you're in a sunny area, you can keep your socks clean by washing them. You know, wear them for a couple of days, a pair for a couple of days, and then wash them. If you're near a water source that's running or can somehow get enough water to wash your socks, then dry them on your pack the next day while you're wearing the next pair, and alternate your socks that way, washing them every so often. You can get a lot out of socks without going to the laundromat. So I don't know if we've left anything out of our gear list set up here, but probably.
Yeah, we talked about the little gear, like all the little incidental things, like.
Yeah, we carry some incidental gear, repair gear. Always have duct tape on our. We wrap it around our trekking poles to have it, and it's come in really handy. We carry a really sharp cutting edge that's generally used as a scraper, but carry a little knife.
First aid kit.
A very primitive
Very
first
small.
aid kit, mostly medications for pain.
A lot of Advil.
Advil, a few Tramadol, you know. We've gone through.
And then we have a wee sewing kit to make any minor repairs, or for me, I have to have a needle for blisters.
We carry a string a 50-foot piece of string to hang our food every night if we're in bear territory. We'll make a video when we're on the trail of how to throw over a limb to be able to hang your bear bag. It's quite an art, I think. And I've gotten pretty good at it, although it'll take me a little practice to get over being rusty after the winter layoff. I don't practice it during the winter. I should come out and throw over limbs. But you know, other than just lip balm and hand
Sunscreen.
lotion and sunscreen,
Hand sanitizer, the ubiquitous hand sanitizer.
and for bathing purposes, we carry handy wipe kinds of wipes that they'll do in a pinch. And our first our first shower this year after we leave Pie Town will be in about 110 miles. It'll be at an RV park we're going to stay in Grants. So 110 miles, usually you want to wash your clothes, and there will definitely not be any place to wash our clothes. There are very few water sources between Pie Town and Grants. That area is very dry. So can you think of anything else? So that's our gear list, and stay tuned for our upcoming adventures coming.
We only have one more week till we get to leave here and go there.
Yeah, we're ready.
See ya.
See ya.